Hello and welcome to this Irish Whiskey Taste Challenge. So I have two Irish blended whiskeys. This is Jameson Caskmates Irish Whiskey aged in stout beer barrels. I don't know when it was introduced, about 10 years ago. I don't have too much of it left, but that's okay. All right, this was $4, $4.99. My friend David found it, $4.99. True story. He gave me a bottle. Thank you, David. What a crazy deal, right? For $3.75. I'd have bought maybe 4 bottles, And this is Bushmills Red Bush, introduced in 2017. I know that because the website says so. Primary source. It is a blended Irish whiskey aged in first fill bourbon barrels. And what does that mean, first fill? Well, they buy bourbon barrels from the United States. And the first time they ever fill them in Ireland is with this. I'll be right back. Hold on. So it doesn't mean they've never been used. They mean the first time they filled them was with this. You see, some of these barrels they may use for 50 years. They might take, like, say, they make a deal with the people in Tennessee and buy a bunch of Jack Daniels barrels. All right, say they buy Jack Daniels barrels in 2010. They might use them till 2060. They might use them for 50 years to age Irish whiskey in, or Scotch whiskey, depending on the country. Or they might age American whiskey in it, like Early Times, which is an American whiskey, very similar to bourbon, except it's aged in used barrels. And also the new Early Times has natural flavors added. Okay, but that's another story. But anyway, yeah. So that's what they're doing with Bushmills. They're taking ex-bourbon barrels. Whose bourbon? We don't know. But they're aging it for 4 years. I'm trying to think. Proximo Spirits. Do they own a bourbon company? Proximo Spirits is Jose Cuervo. That's their importing company, Proximo Spirits. But probably better to call it Proximo Spirits than Cuervo, because some people got some kind of conniption fit on Cuervo. Cuervo? I'm not drinking that. So they call it Proximo Spirits. Oh, yeah, that's a real company. That's a man's company. All right. Irish Distillers, they're old. They own a distillery in Middleton, Ireland. It's called Middleton Distillery. They produce a lot of products like patties under contract. Jameson, Red Spot, Green Spot, and a whole lot more. A lot of single malt Irish whiskeys. Okay, so the price, I guess you might find Red Bush for like $27 somewhere. One of these is lighter, but I don't know which one it is, so I'm just going to mix them up. I know the Bushmills. I'm sorry, the Jameson Caskmates Stout Edition is $32.99 at Total Wine, because I looked that price up the other day. $32.99 at Total Wine. Yeah, that's a normal price. So, I mean, to find it for $4.99 is like craziness. I mean, it's craziness. I mean, for a half size bottle, still $9.98 for a full size. $9.98. Oh man, $9.98 for Evan Williams Green Label is a deal. So imagine the Caskmates. It's unreal. It's unreal. It really is. Well, we could check. It doesn't hurt to check. Let's see, Total Wine and More. It smells like orange peels, but I know it has no orange peel. Okay. Okay. So Bushmills Red. There we go. These guys don't have it in stock. Wow. It's not in stock. That's concerning. Okay, let's see. That's kind of weird. All right, Walmart. Man, if they don't have it, I'm gonna figure it's being phased out. That's what happened to that Crown Royal bourbon mash blended. Oh, they have it. They have it. Pick up tomorrow. It's not available today, but they're saying their website saying it's coming in tomorrow. $28.98. Yeah, I'll pass on that. Uh, $28.98. Bushmills Red Bush, $32.99 for the. Now Walmart charges more for the Jameson Caskmates. No, $32.99 over there. But I didn't pay that. We bought this Bushmills Red Bush at Savannah Discount about 4 years ago. You want to guess what we paid for this? Anybody? Anyone? Liam Gillespie says, why can't I find Colt 45 in Olympia anymore? Have they been phased out? Mostly Colt 45 is very limited, and Olympia was more or less put on the we might bring it back someday list. It might technically be still being made, but basically it's out of production. Yeah, it's too bad. But that's what happens when people don't buy the beer. I used to be able to get Olympia in Louisiana. But that was, I'll say used to it. The last time I found Olympia in Louisiana was 1998 now. In Baton Rouge. Olympia dry. It's cheap too. David Cassidy says, got the Bushmills Black today, Ron. Very nice. Oh yeah, that's a dream, that thing. That is a dream. Weber. But the Red Bush is no joke. It's no joke. I don't know why Total Wine doesn't have it. That's a bad sign. Maybe they're phasing it out. But Walmart's got it. Okay. Anyone want to guess? Okay, I'll tell you what we paid. We were at Savannah Discount in Marrero, Louisiana, which is close to New Orleans, but not in New Orleans, but it's close. It's a town next to New Orleans. It's actually across the river from New Orleans. So you have to take a bridge. They used to have a ferry, but they stopped the ferry. There was a ferry that went directly to Marrero, but that got phased out. Bad decision, I think. But anyway, on sale up here for $26.09 a fifth. $26.09. Woof. That's cheap. Actually, where do you live? But anyway, we were at Savannah Discount and we saw Red Bush. It wasn't $19.99. It was $9.99. We were both stunned. Me and my friend David were looking at the shelf like, we're like staring like, is this the right price? $9.99. So ding-a-ling, we both bought a bottle. And then he tells me on the phone, I'm going back to buy another bottle. He couldn't resist. He's going to get on the Huey P. Long Bridge, US Highway 90 bridge, go back down all the way. That's a long drive, really, when you think about it. I was like, well, go ahead. I don't want any more. He's like, I'll pick you up another bottle. I said, no. I have to do these challenges. I can't be resting on bottles. But I did appreciate him offering to get it, but it was too much, Oh, you're outside of Philadelphia in the Pennsylvania part or the Delaware part? You ever heard of a restaurant called Good and Plenty? My father went there one time. He said, "Oh, Pennsylvania." He said that place was. He likes to eat a lot, so he went there for DuPont. DuPont sent him to Wilmington, Delaware, and for some business trip, and then they were saying, "Oh, we're going to go out to eat." Everybody's got to go out to eat. Lancaster County. Oh, okay. And his friend was saying, "Yeah, we're going to go to this place called Good and Plenty." And my father said it was good, and they gave you plenty. So he was it's one of those places where it's like you sit on benches with a whole bunch of other people or whatever. But yeah, he was like that was his only experience in Delaware and Pennsylvania. But he was really into it. Of course, he had to work most of the time at DuPont. It was a business trip, but that was the fun night. But anyway, serve the food in bowls, I believe. In bowls? Oh, you've heard of it then? Okay. Well, he still talks about that. Like it was years ago, but he was like, "Oh yeah, Good and Plenty, man." Uh, yep, that's the name of the place. Good and Plenty. This smells like typical whiskey, meaning like grain spirits and the malt whiskey. I don't say it's a bad aroma. It just, oh, you know why it smells regular? Because they age in bourbon barrels, and in the United States American thinking that's American regular bourbon. I know it well. Okay, so David Cassie knows about Good and Plenty. Well, see, now we connect. We made a connection. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now this one has more of a wine. Is this wine? Neither one of these things aren't aged in wine barrels. Indeed, Ron, laughing out loud. Yeah, well, me with my sense of humor is because some people get angry about it. They get so angry. I'll never watch your channel again. And I was like, I was just kidding. It's like you don't have a sense of humor. It's like you that angry all the time. Man, if I was that angry all the time, I'll probably be very depressed. Shady Maple is the place. Shady Maple says craft beer tastic. Oh well, I can assure you, he didn't drive there. He just his friend was saying, "Oh, I know where this place is," and they had a rental car, I'm sure. Shady Maple for price, Miller's for quality. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway, his friend drove. My father would be so lost in Delaware and Pennsylvania, he'd be up in Connecticut trying to find where the gas station was. He doesn't drive. He doesn't do that kind of stuff. All right, but I do that kind of stuff. I'll be driving down Broadway in New York City, driving through Los Angeles. I go anywhere. But other people be very nervous doing that. Actually, most people I know would never ever dream of driving through a big city like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles if they weren't like from there. They would never do it. Never, never, never. But I'll see it like it's an adventure. Like, oh, look, where does this road go? I see a sign. Get murdered here. I'm like, what does that mean? Get murdered here? Is that a cafe? All right. Anyway, cheers. I think I've driven through every downtown in every major American city. I'm not kidding. Every one of them. Every single one. Well, just goes to show you what you can do when you got a car. All right. Anyway, in a spirit event, DuPont's Winter Thur and Hagley down the road from here. Oh, it's a plant refinery. Yeah, he worked at DuPont for over 30 years. He didn't start there. He started another company called Ethel Corporation. They used to make additives for gasoline. He always says they went out of business. They didn't go out of business. They got bought out by another company and just became another company. Those companies, they never go out of business. They just get bought by another company. So in his mind, they went out of business. But no, that Ethel refinery is still going on. On there in Baton Rouge. It's just called something else. That's just that's the way it works. I drove through Wilmington, Delaware once. Let's just say I ran through every single red light until I was out of there. Oh, because you didn't want to mess up the people's beautiful gardens. It's a pretty place. That's why you went fast. Oh, okay. I'd like to go there. Homesteads and gunpowder factory. Oh, okay. Oh, right. It started with the gunpowder and the Revolutionary War. Hello, Butch Willie. All right. So this one tastes kind of regular, which means bourbon regular, which means American barrels, right? Man, if y'all saw where I went to get Chinese food today, you would realize that I'm either an idiot or I'm not intimidated. Maybe it's the first option. I'll tell you what, these are close. These are really close. These are really, really close. They're about the same price, around $30. They have the same alcohol by volume. They're both made in Ireland. One's Northern Ireland, one's the Irish Republic. Okay, I'm not part of that conflict. Why is that? We had you in a bad neighborhood? Oh, were you in a bad neighborhood? Well, yes, I guess most people would consider that a bad neighborhood, New Orleans. I'm a few miles up the road here over the Delaware border in Pennsylvania. Very cool places. Oh, okay, yeah, by Brandywine Creek. All right. I think, even though everything I said, I think this is the stout beer barrel. Why? It's sort of like a chocolate or dark bread crust type of thing. It's not profound, no, but it's there. It's a tweak. I said this before. Both of these are the same type of products because they're tweaked. Like the bourbon barrel does not make that much different than original Bushmills. It makes it a little different, not that much different. And then the stout beer barrel doesn't make this one that much different than Jameson, but they're tweaked, so they're a little bit altered. So you're going to pay a lot more to get a little bit more. Now, if you're comfortable with that, go ahead and buy them. You're going to pay a lot more to get a little bit more. You're going to pay this much to get that much. You could have just bought Jameson, but you said, no, I want this fancy one. So I paid this much. And then you got this much. Now, you could have bought regular Bushmills, but you said, no, I want that Red Bush. I want that bourbon barrel age. So I'm going to pay this much. And you got this much. Now, if you see that as a value, you are the perfect customer for what they're trying to do here. And they have many more products for you, made just for you. Why, you better get ready to spend some money on an upcoming Bushmills Marsala barrel. They'll think of a name for it. I don't know what it's going to be called. I'm just making it up. I'm getting it out of the air. But, why not? Oh, why not buy the port wine barrel? Why not buy that's Bushmills. Why not buy the Jameson what could that be? Yeah, Jameson Sherry Barrel. Oh, I paid $40 for that. See? There you go. They got customers out there ready to deal, ready to pay out for all of these tweaks. All of these tweaks. All Are they that much different from their base product? Nah. Nah. But they got a pretty label. They got a nice website. So you do it. And you're happy because you got it. All right. I'm glad you're safe now. I always get scared of those neighborhoods. I wasn't scared at all. I really wasn't scared at all because I'm kind of like, I know the area, I grew up around here. So I was like, okay, I'm going to Chinese Kitchen. Because I know Chinese Kitchen is the worst looking Chinese restaurant in the city of New Orleans with the best food. You know those kind of places, like the worst looking place with the best food. And that's why the people are lining up. They be lining up. It opens at 11:15. They're lining up at 10 minutes before 11. And if you don't get in line early, you're going to be waiting. And that goes on all day, every day. Well, I think they closed on Sunday or Saturday. I don't know. It's some odd, weird thing, But man, that egg roll was like a trumpet. That thing was huge. But they do some serious work. Yeah, they're not the regular old Chinese joint, of which we're all familiar. So, but yeah, that was nice. I still got half the plate. I couldn't eat all that. I could have eaten it, but I was like, I don't want to put on that weight. But believe me, if you went there and got what I got, you wait in that line. You'd wait in that line. All right. Might get killed, but you wait. I'm not familiar with Red Bush. I know the Jameson Stout has some subtle chocolate and coffee notes. What is the red like? Well, it's kind of like the regular, but it's got that little bourbon tweak. A line or crowd at an eating establishment is usually a good sign per the quality of the food. Oh, yeah. And anytime you drive by that place, there's a line outside. They're lining up to get in there. And they're not lining up because they hate it. They're lining up because they like it. People will say, oh, the only reason Crown Royal is popular because it's marketing. It's all marketing. Oh, really? You think everybody's buying Crown Royal because they hate it? And they said, oh, I don't like the stuff. It's trash. But I saw a television commercial. I was so amazed by that TV commercial. Yeah, sure. That's why they're buying it, because they hate it. And Chinese Kitchen's been open since 1977, 46 years. And I know it has not been open for 46 straight years because people don't like it. It's open because people love it. And it is no joke. All right. I think this is probably the Caskmates. I got it right. Oh, yeah. Well, now, I feel a lot better. Still got 4 defeats, but those are that's the past. We got to get over it. We're going to the bowl game. We're going to make the bowl. We're going to make the it's the Beef O'Brady's Bowl at St. Petersburg, but it's better than no bowl. So anyway, we're going to a bowl game. We play in Western Michigan. Well, hey, well, it's a game. Anyway, and we're going to close out. No, not closing out. We're starting up with Scotch. Get ready, y'all, for Scotch. Blended Scotch is on the way.